So, first of all, we're here at the launch of your new Bristol store. You're known for buying sort of failing businesses and turning them around, whereas this one obviously is from scratch. Why have you decided to do this?
This came about from really 100,000 years of lingerie experience that myself and my team had, and we sat down one evening and said we miss the lingerie industry. It was something we've known most of our lives, and if we had to design our ultimate lingerie store, what would it look like? And several years later, Allah, this is it. It's come to fruition, and of course we opened with 6 just over a year ago to see what the reaction would be, and we'll have 18 by the end of this year, and 21 by March, and the reaction has been phenomenal. So we've accelerated the store rollout. The aim is to have about 25 stores in the UK, a website. But we've already opened our 3rd store internationally as well. So it's not just all about the UK now, it's been received brilliantly. So we're going to be busy.
You're, as you said, you're expanding it very fast. You've launched with quite a lot of stores. So what's the thinking behind that, about growing the business?
We started with 6, and that was our test bed. And if they weren't received well, we'd have shut them. So we've launched in the middle of a recession. So there's always a little bit of a danger there that you think you know most things, but of course there's dynamics outside your control. So it was very important that we tested and see how those dynamics affect our business. And what we found is that our customer likes us and wants to come shopping. They're incredibly loyal, and the 6 stores that opened in April 1st, 2011 are doing incredibly well. So it was a real great encouragement for us to create more stores, and of course create employment, because since we launched we've created over 1,000 jobs.
La Senza, a business that you used to run, isn't doing so well now. So what do you think went wrong with La Senza?
Well, we sold La Senza in 2006, and it's really my old team that's together again in this particular chain. But there's a number of things. I mean, I'm not going to talk about the demise of other businesses, and that's for their management to work out what's gone wrong with their business. It's not for me to do that or share it with them, with all due respect, because I'm about Boo, and this is my baby now. And La Senza was my baby once upon a time, but no more. So it's time to move on and talk about the success of Boo.
There's a lot about the high street at the moment. There's Mary Portas's review and the money that she's putting into the high street.
What money she put into the high street?
The government are putting into the high street. The Portas pilots.
How much money they put in?
£100,000 for each high street to reform these individual high streets.
That's the price of a reasonable car.
Well, I was going to say, I know your view. What's your thoughts on the government and Mary's efforts to?
It's not for me to comment.
On to maybe the small business bank that the government's launched this week. Vince Cable announced it, Osborne had mentioned it. What are your thoughts? It's all a bit vague at the moment, but what are your thoughts?
I just hope it's just not another publicity stunt. Actually, they're going to see it through and they're going to make it happen in a practical way. But when the government already owns 2 huge banks, I'm not quite sure why they need a small business bank. Do you? They already have 2 banks. How many banks do they want?
What should they be doing then in terms of specifically on finance for small businesses?
I think the theory is absolutely right. We need to get funding and money down to businesses. There's no question about that. It's the lifeblood, it's the oxygen, it's the blood that keeps us going. I'm not sure. I didn't see the announcement, unfortunately. I've been tied up in a little bit of a deal. So it's in the last few days. So I haven't read the detail yet, but. So I've only seen the sort of headline, and I just don't understand why we need another bank. But there we are. I mean, much brighter people than me and cleverer people than me in the government. So I'm sure they've found a really good reason for it.
The new series of Dragon's Den is obviously back.
Yeah.
Is this series different in any way? Are people sort of the first picture in the first episode this week? She just didn't understand, for instance, what a balance sheet was.
That was unfortunate.
Why do you think? Do you think people are not sort of learning from Dragon's Den, and you think they'd be better?
I think people do, and people have learned a huge amount. And that particular lesson was a great lesson because everyone's talking about it. So B, who was the girl who was in that particular pitch, has done a great service, bless her. She's tweeted, I've been talking to her on Twitter, and I bet she now knows what a balance sheet is. She's got a great mentor in Hillary as well. So, but that was a great opportunity. She did a great service because people have been talking about it.
What are is that the most common mistake you see on Dragon's Den, that not knowing the numbers? Or
Listen, most common mistake that always never fails to surprise me is not doing your homework. In any business, you need to do your homework. If you don't do your homework, you'll come a cropper.
A question: I've been interviewing a lot of startups lately. During the Olympics, there was a lot of startup-related events, and the one thing I was asking them is, what is it, or who is it, that keeps them going as an entrepreneur? They're obviously in their very early days. What is it that keeps you going on this? And you're now opening another business, another chain. What is it?
How exciting is this today? I couldn't wait to bounce out of bed this morning and get here. Even though I was at sort of wee small hours last night. It was, it's exciting, it's vibrant, it's what I do, it's what keeps me alive. I think if I stopped, I would die. It's not about the money anymore. Money went a long time ago. Money's a byproduct. It's the challenges, it's pitting your wits, it's achievement, success. Brilliant.
And just finally, who else in the entrepreneurial world do you admire, and why is that?
Oh, that's an easy one. I admire anybody who is entrepreneurial, anybody who wants to go out there and do it for themselves, anybody that doesn't blame other people for what they don't have or their failings, and anyone who wants to go there and better themselves, irrespective of what level, by the way. You don't have to become a multi-millionaire. You don't have to become a billionaire. There's some people making a few thousand or a few tens of thousands or a few hundred thousands. It is fine. And the fact they're doing it for themselves and not relying on somebody else, it doesn't get better